What's up, gamers and gearheads? Welcome to a fresh episode of Front Spawn, where we talk about everything Gears eSports. With me today, as usual, I have the wonderful panel of experts. We've got John Frosty Fallout. That's the only dig I'm going to have. I know you've been getting a lot of stuff.
That better be it.
That's it, man. That's all. We got Rob Immortal Spawn and Guy coming at you live, Blaze. So let's get into our first topic today. Roll that beautiful beam footage. Let's see what we're talking about. John, how many teams were there actually to compete?
Yeah, we had a total of 65 teams of 5, which is awesome. I know people might be saying 65 is not the 100-plus goal that was kind of being thrown around on websites and on Twitter, but 65 teams of 5.
The 12 in champ bracket?
I think it does.
Yeah, it does include.
It does, yeah. 65 total teams, yep. So Thanksgiving weekend, the tickets were ridiculously expensive to get there, and of course, people don't want to leave their families. Yeah, I think that's a huge win for the scene.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rob, can you explain how the pool play worked? It may have been a little confusing for the people who were kind of new to pool play. How exactly did that work?
Yeah, definitely. So there was 12 teams coming in, and there would be 16 pool play teams at some point in the tournament. But coming into the event, you had 8 North American teams that had qualified based on points. And these points were obtained through the Sunday 2K tournaments, daily 250 points on MLG, some Microsoft LAN events, game battles matches. So the top 8 teams that accumulated points in North America, and then 4 additional teams, international teams. So you had 2 European squads, you had the Latin American team, and you had the Asia Pacific team, right? So that put up the 12. So the top 4 in North America were seeded 1, 2, 3, 4 in pools A, B, C, and D. And then the next 4 teams in North America were randomly slotted into those pools. And I believe the 4 international teams were also randomly slotted into those 4 pools. So that's where you got 12. And then the last 4 teams to make it into pool play were the 4 teams to win out of open bracket. So 4 teams would win out. And the team that had the highest seed that won out of open would go to pool D, so it would go inverse. So the 4 teams that came out based on their ranking, their seed coming into the event, would go to pool D, C, B, and A, and that's how we got the 16 pool play teams.
And Rob, brush your shoulders off real quick. You were one of those 4 teams that made it out.
Appreciate that, boss.
Undefeated,
Yeah, we got out.
Man, open bracket. Congrats to you.
We got into the grueling pool D right away, so that was fun.
And as a player, Rob, did you prefer this style of tournament over what we've had before?
Yeah, I believe it's great for the broadcast, just because you're going to have great games right out of the gate. You're going to be able to have some great matches with these top pool play teams, and being that it's an international event, is so awesome to see those type of games right away. So we're we got Splice versus United, we can push that match right away, on stream. So it was cool to sort of plan and get those headline games and see how the international teams, fare against each other. So I liked it a lot.
Blaze, what were your thoughts on the first open bracket?
The open bracket it's nice to get that open bracket hotness coming out, be able to play those games consecutively before you come into the group pool. I will say that it did provide a lot of good entertainment having those groups there, and it was actually a lot of open bracket teams that I thought should have made it into pool play that didn't. You had Incredibles out there that didn't make it. I want to say Loyalty didn't make it, or they came up short.
Energy,
Loyalty, yeah, Energy.
Gosh.
Same thing, came up short towards the end as well. Energy, Loyalty, Incredibles. It was a few of those guys out there, solid teams, they just, didn't make it through. But overall, we've seen some storybooks come out as well, some Cinderella stories. We saw Extortions come out the group play. Those guys didn't even own the Astros, but they was out there kicking everybody's ass. You just had to root for them. But overall, it looked real dope. I wish I had a chance to, grab my controller and play in it as well. But, from what I saw, it looked like everybody definitely just had a good time. And, hopefully, the next event, the seed will fall in your favor.
Now, the Europeans at the Invitational, they didn't have any teams at the event because of some choices that they made.
Changes. Yeah.
Consequences.
But how did the Europeans fare at the event at the first LAN event here for them?
Well, you know what? I would say that Epsilon did very well. They definitely came out. They definitely came out swinging. Supremacy even at one point had a game that I was watching where they were up like 6-3 on Revenge. I think it was up 6-3 on somebody, and they just came back, smacked them, and their whole tournament was over at that point. Just got morally crushed. The rest of the guys, you had Sigma, you had Millennium. They were so. Vitality was actually hot. I'm talking about. Vitality was taking out teams that I didn't think Vitality could take out in open bracket all the way towards champ bracket, but they just fell short just a little bit before
they lost
some of the big matches.
They lost an open bracket too. That was a huge upset. I can't remember who beat them in open brackets.
They lost.
It was a team that I never would have expected them to lose to in open.
Yeah, they lost early. Then they went on like a
10-game
win streak.
This was Vitality. Did they lose?
Vitality, yeah.
Yeah, I had the brackets. It was Fully Spaced or Get Bronco or one of the teams. I think it was one of the open teams.
No, it had to be Fully Spaced then.
Yeah.
That's another team that kind of came out of nowhere, right? Fully Spaced.
Yeah, and that's why I was dope. They changed their roster, which I'm so about, but that team
they replace.
They dropped Carson's from what I know, and they dropped Carson's, and I don't know who they picking up, but I like that squad on paper, man. They were turning heads. They just needed more time or whatever. So
for sure, on the topic of European teams, I think it was a decent showing, a really decent first showing, given the fact that they did not have a chance to compete at the Invitational, which was the 8-team regional invitational held a month before in October. Europe was basically banned from that event because all of them were account recovering. I think for a first event, placing top 8 is a huge step for them. I think that sends a message to the rest of Europe that, hey, we can do this. Supremacy Blaze, you were spot on. They had some moments of greatness. They had a couple of rounds in a row where they looked like a sharp team. They're rotating, shooting for each other. I think they lack some slaying power. They lack a little bit of that new school, get down and dirty type of gameplay in Gears 4. I'm not sure what they're going to do. Moving forward, I'm excited to watch them in London. But of course, Epsilon. I think Epsilon is a team that matches up pound for pound well with a lot of teams, skill wise. I'm looking for them to do some big things. I can't remember who they ended up losing to.
They lost to Revenge. It was very late. It was after our game versus them, and they lost to Revenge like super early in the morning.
Epsilon even lost to Extortions as well.
That's right. Yeah, Extortions beat them in pool. So yeah, overall, I think I counted 5 European teams, 3 placed within the top 20. Epsilon being the highest there with top 8, and then 2 outside of it. So a little bit spread out throughout the event. So they were kind of all over the place with their teams.
Not bad. Everyone knows I got mad love for Europe. That's obviously my root. So I'm still rooting for you guys. I think you guys had a great showing, and keep grinding. Seriously, keep grinding.
We need some teams from Greece, huh?
I got my little cousin. He bought. He's like the only person all over Greece that got an Xbox because he watches the streams and he's a huge fan. But he's alone on an island in Greece right now. Maybe he can get some traction going.
Yeah.
In the village, hanging out, watching this broadcast.
Now, before the event, we had a few team changes, namely Vex, Envious added Soldiers and dropped Soto, and then E United almost completely changed their roster, right?
No, they only had one
change. Okay, well then. Yeah. Now, do you guys think that these were successful moves for the team, or should they have sticked with the squad that they had?
I kind of I wish we'll never know what that Vex team, that original Vex team for Gears 4, would have done at this tournament. So that's sort of the unknown. I wish I would have, that's what we don't know. But as a result of that disbandment, it was that new Vex team, but it was bot, and without that change, that new bot team was a powerhouse. So that was the biggest thing for me in terms of the team change.
You, Rob. I agree with you. And that bot Empire squad turned out, like you said, to be a monster. And it was all they all let Excel. I feel like they all let Excel's lead. Speedy and Friday knew that they were the new guys. They kind of took a step back. Soto was a motivational leader there. He was a face of the squad. And Crash was just a pure slayer as well. Yep. And the team was so talented, and you got to say the Vex roster, they got Phenomenon and Strangulate. Those guys came out flat at a certain point. We saw them having some great moments, but their first match against Envious, I guess I can understand it's nerves. Then you had a match against Optic, the brothers, a lot more nerves. It just didn't seem like some of the players just fit on that squad. Mainly so strangulate. We saw him sitting on that end, but I wanted him to be that leader of the team because who else was going to be the leader of that team? You can kind of tell that both those rosters kind of formed for points to get into pool play, and you can just see that Bot Empire squad was just so much better. And of course, the E United roster change, they placed one place higher than they did before. But Rodney was a good addition to the team. He brings that that extra energy. He's on the same wavelength as everybody else with that squad.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's a good synopsis. It's interesting when you look at that Bot squad and the Vex shakeup. That was the biggest team change storyline. I think Bot came out with before the event. I would have said Bot came out with a better overall team, better kind of more slayers, more slaying power. Vex came out with a more structured team. Like I thought, honestly, Strangulate would be able to lead that team to victory and do some good things. I thought they had clear leadership. It was actually ended up being the opposite. Bot had it all. They had everything needed, and it's a cool story, man. Not often do we get to play at local lands anymore. That was kind of our roots as Gears. And Jay Halos, Rob, a lot about those days. That team met at a local LAN in New York City. I mean,
they all met that weekend.
Yeah. They met that weekend, right? You saw them. They played together, and Soda was playing with Strangulate. He was playing with Phenomenon. He played with Phenomenon at that event. Right. He literally said, I never forget it. He called me after the event. He goes, "Bro, I need to play with these kids. Like, I loved playing with them at this event. Like, they're amazing. I need to play with them. I'm going to make it happen." So it's cool to see the roots of Gears, LAN tournaments, really play a factor still.
And now we had Optic. They had some tight matches during the event, and Envious came in and did what people thought would be impossible for this particular event. They came in and not only beat them with one map, they beat them on 2 maps. Now, what do you think led to Optic's defeat? Was it kind of overconfidence and maybe they didn't prepare as well, or are teams kind of sniffing out what strategies will work better for them against Optic? What do you guys think?
I'm passionate about this one. Blaze, you heard me on when we were casting together. I have a philosophy. We'll see if it comes to fruition or not. This is like my Skip Bayless statement. Are you ready? I think, Blaze, you're going to disagree, and you got the better of me in this last one because I flipped my prediction. I ended up saying Envious is going to win it after being up 2-0. You stuck to your prediction. I respect you for that, and you got the best of me in that one. But they showed weakness. You can't deny that they showed that they're not perfect. They showed vulnerabilities. Of course, they came clutch, and they regathered, regrouped themselves. Those of you guys that are watching and don't really know what we're talking about, Envious had to beat them in 2 best-of-3 series because they came from losers bracket. Envious dominated them 7-3, 7-3 the first series. Optic came back the second series, did the same thing reverse to them, beat them 7-3, 7-3 on the same maps. But I will say it, Optic Gaming, and I hope they're watching, I hope they can learn and improve upon this. This is why I say it, has 3 weaknesses. 1, they don't know how to lose. I compare them to Golden State Warriors of last season. Dominant team, dominant record, best record of all time in NBA history. Everyone thought they were going to clean sweep the NBA playoffs, but they didn't know how to lose. When they started losing, teams started adapting, they kind of crumbled. They almost lost to Oklahoma City. They lost to Cleveland in the finals. 2, communication. I still think that hurts them. I think the fact that Summon's mental, when we did listens with mental, I was pleasantly surprised he communicated well. And then 3 for that team is just grinding nonstop and not getting the best practice, but just constantly grinding. Like they're going to burn themselves out eventually, I feel like.
Are you done or are you finished?
I'm done.
Okay. Since you want to be Skip, I'll show you what Stephen A. Smith would say because I think
oh god,
crazy.
Did we just come up with the next series?
All right, but no, you cannot sit up here and tell me that Optic does not know how to lose. Okay, when they lost, they got their ass kicked. And they played the same maps and destroyed Envy right after.
Yeah, that's a bold choice. They chose the same maps they got beat on.
They chose the same exact map cycle, and then they whooped their ass. Like, if anything, it shows that they lost and then perfected their mistakes on the exact same maps, and within 5 minutes, they went back and did it again, all right? So you can probably make the debate, hey, does that just mean that Envious is choke artists in clutch situations? They can't keep it up? Or is just Optic that much better? I'll take you in that debate, but you can't say that they don't know how to lose. Now, these guys, like, to me, nobody was touching them, okay? Nobody was being able to bang with these guys. So after every match, they come off the gas a little bit. We chill, we cool. Let's just get the trophy, go home, because nobody fucking with us, okay? And maybe in that series, they came off the gas a little bit too much, okay? They were trying to see how good Envious really is. Like, how good are y'all, okay? Can y'all take us at 45%? All right, can y'all do this? What's up? How much better are we than you guys? And after that first series, like that's like it was so night and day, you know? It was so night and day where Optic just came out, they went full force, and Envy is just like they got fucking rocked, you know? Like if anything, I'm saying ain't nobody beating them right now. I haven't seen nobody put enough pushback. If you want to talk about their real weakness, it's not having enough intel on some teams' uncertainty. The two teams that gave them the biggest fight was Bot Empire. The best match of the whole weekend was that Foundation match that went 7-6. That's the best Gears esports map to date. And then the Extortions match, the one that nobody really got to see. You know, you was on the little streaming app on your phone, recording it, and showing it to everybody. What is it called?
Periscope.
Yeah, you was periscoping and taking care of that. But Extortions went 7-5, 7-5. All right. As a total, I want to say that's the closest anybody got all weekend in a 2-game series to them, and that was just because they was unsure about those guys, But other than that, ain't nobody knocking down that green wall no time soon.
What do you think was said, and who stepped up as a leader, like when they went off and kind of regrouped?
Oh,
if you saw the visions, it was Gilbert. Yeah, Gilbert said y'all need to stop being fucking pussies or something. I forgot what he said, but like, Gilbert is the leader of that team, and that's without a doubt. And I'm happy that we able to see that now.
That's awesome,
wasn't able to see it too much in Gears UE, but yeah, Gilbert is the voice of that team. That's why he sits dead center. He keeps everybody's emotions in check, and he knows exactly what he got to do.
Yeah, I agree. I think Envy had more focus on that first match, and they proved it. They were just more focused. And it was Optic just letting off of the gas a little bit, like knowing they had to lose twice. They're just sitting pretty. But even Lava mentioned it. Like they regrouped, they figured out their shit for the next set, and it was a wrap. So
5 minutes.
I will say, I agree with you. I agree with everything you said about this event. They did prove a lot, and it'd be kind of ridiculous to say they don't know how to lose after that performance, that turnaround. But Optic will win London. Optic will win Mexico City. Boys Optic are going to lose in Paris. My boy Prezi is going to be back in Paris. That's where he's from, his familia. Envious is going to take Paris. And
is he really from Paris?
He has. Well, I think his dad is a little bit French.
Okay.
He has some French in him. He has some French blood in him.
He's like French Dominican. That explains a lot.
I'm saying French Dominican. His French blood's going to be pumping. He's going to be kind of feeling good when he returns to the homeland, the Hearthstone. I think that Envy's going to take Paris. I'm going to say it. Optic has weaknesses, man.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, right.
Here's a quick glimpse of what's coming at you on the next episode of Front Spawn. We're going to have a little fun now with you guys. We're going to do a competitive who's who for the MLG Columbus Open.